Lord. Hello and welcome back, beautiful peoples. We are live and direct. It is Friday. Are we appreciating my little fit today and the new hair? Okay, because this is the lower maintenance version of the high maintenance ginger. Anyway, yeah, this week has been a really slow week, which I'm very grateful for. Extremely slow mornings, even evenings. I've been so fatigued lately. It's taken me out. I'm not mad at it, I'm not even gonna lie, and I'm very grateful that I can lean into my wellness when I need to. That's what this week has been mainly about. High maintenance and taking care of myself, making sure I'm good. Low maintenance and doing the bare minimum, which for me is my bare maximum. That all being said, outside today, been in my bag of thoughts about closing loops and what that looks like, and living with the fact that life is not linear, which can also mean that healing is not linear. So long story short, God set me up today. If you're going to be outside, I'm going to make the best out of this moment. I saw a pop-up for a local council's fostering department. I clocked it but drove past it, and then on the way back God was like, pull over. I was like, if we must, okay. Context, I am a foster carer. In truth, I got out the car thinking to myself, I really don't know why I'm getting out of this car, because I'm done with fostering. However, God isn't finished. And those signs become ever so clear when you just say yes and amen. That experience, it's not even what you think. Being a foster carer, you will have challenges with children who aren't regulated, or they are traumatized, or whatever the case may be, right? That is just a given. That's the nature of the role. But what threw me left field, what surprised me the most about the challenge of being a foster carer, was actually working with the broken system. These children that enter the system aren't the system that's broken itself. It's the people and the things and the ways of doing and the mindsets of doing things that are broken, that are keeping these children not only trapped in the system, but worse off than they came into the system. This truth does not apply to every single child that goes through the foster care system. But one fact that is true and is known is that it is a broken system. So these truths apply to most children that go through the fostering system. And so when I say I was done with fostering, I was done with the system. I'm done with the broken narratives, the misunderstandings, the people that have really and truthfully just superior complexes and have found vulnerable people and spaces that they can dominate and be egotistical in. I'm done with all of that. And so for me, I left the field. But as we've been talking and hashing it up and in our deep bag of thoughts, there are plans that are in motion, and those plans are for good, and they are not to harm me. They are to prosper me and for my future. So when I felt the leading today to attend the pop-up, I didn't take it lightly at all. I arrived, I began speaking with not only social workers, I also began speaking with experienced foster carers, and that is the part that I needed the most. I needed to hear whether or not, if I get back into this field, will I get the support I need? As a foster carer, it's extremely challenging being at the bottom of what I would say is a professional list of social care workers or people who work in social care. They see you and quote unquote, I can genuinely quote this coming from the head of the snake, they see you as like a bed and breakfast. That's the way that the social care is approached. RE foster carers, it's extremely disheartening when you are so extremely passionate about children and children coming out of darkness, to be specific. As God would have it, it's not over until he says it's over. And I'm like, please spare me. Well, God's like, you've got your stones and you've got your slingshot, it's time, spare me. But he's like, no. I'm like, okay. My light just started to leak. And what do I mean by leak? I could feel the healing coming as I shone my light of truth. And light means knowledge, right? So my truth is my knowledge. And as I was speaking to this group of people, I could just see not only one, how they were mesmerized by the awe of God, firstly, because you're in awe of me and my humble beginnings, but it wasn't me who did it. There was a set of master's students, so they were here, I believe, studying at the Royal College of Arts, and they were studying service quality in social care. They were making an unusual request, given that children are safeguarded, children are vulnerable, and we don't expose them to people just for interest, right? They had an unusual request to interview a child about the transition from leaving their primary home, their family home, you know, their foundations, and moving into care. I've heard the saying that when you hear no, you're just asking the wrong person, and that was proven today. They were asking the right people the wrong question, but the answer God had already planted in the conversation. That is my story. So what they turned around and said was like, oh no, we can't do it, but you're here. And so then they started pointing at me. And then they were like, no, yeah, she's a care leaver and she's also a foster carer. You should interview her. And so here we are. I got interviewed, talk back and forth about policies and service and how people aren't really trying to fix a broken system, and my personal experience of what it was like to be taken into care straight from school. A whole other story for a different day. And then I was literally plonked into a family that was unknown to me. So it was great to be in my bag of thoughts about not only the child me that, you know, I've been nostalgic about recently, but also to remember how far I've come actually, and that those humble beginnings ended with really successful ends. You were able to come back around and close the loop for the children and yourself. Now you're doing even deeper healing and coming back full circle to the local authority, the council, the representative estate, that not only saved you from why they needed to take you, but they also failed you. They failed you so badly in the service of taking care of you. I was really in my bag of healing, but not healing in the sense of like I've got anything to heal. It was the healing that you didn't ask for, that God does when he's starting to correct things. I'm grateful for this opportunity and this sign and this moment where I just get to see God for who he is. He's starting to knit together and weave together back my life as I surrender it back to him, get back into my purpose, get back into my call. You know, the red fire heart emoji, I'm not playing when I say that. The women today, when I was crying, aka passion leaking, they were just like, yeah, this is just your passion. They were like, we can see it, like we can feel it, we can hear it. Like, and yeah, I'm really passionate about wellness, wholeness, and really closing, like I said, loops. I know what it was like to be that child. I now know what it's like to love that child. I now also know what it feels like to receive love, pure love, whole love, healing love from the experience of being a foster carer. I don't really share my career and things like that online because I think it's very private. With my care agency, entrepreneurship and things like that, especially because it's children, it's the next generation's lives that I have a hand in, and I'm very blessed and privileged to do this job, and these are the plans in motion for it. So I'm grateful that God chased me down, got me out of my house today, chased me down to make me stop, to really speak to these people, to see that not everyone is the same, not all experiences are the same, and there are people out there that want to understand you. There are people out there that want to work with you. It doesn't always have to be a disruptive agenda. It can actually be a collaborative agenda. I hope that's what I'll be going into as I feel out these plans. The girls were going to send me the report when they publish it, so I guess if it's good enough, I'll post it here. It was a really good conversation, conversations that need to be had and not enough people are having, to be honest. What does the service quality look like in social care at the beginning of your life with children, and also social care at the end of your life with elderly people? What is the quality of service that we're providing humans in this day and age? And we need to take a look at it. We need to have those tough conversations. I'm very proud of those girls that they've dedicated and committed themselves to doing that. And then I was blessed enough to be part of that conversation. One thing I will leave you with is that they asked me at the end, okay, so you've shown so much empathy, you've spoken about so much, spoken about so much, what about you now? What about for you as the foster carer? And I was like, oh my God. I said, I don't know. And I said, if anyone who works with children or in social work, you'll know that the saying is children's best interests come first. So that's the essence of what safeguarding is, like child comes first, child comes first, child comes first. So I never really thought about myself in this process of like, okay, so what does it mean for me then to be a foster carer in this? Like, what do I get out of this? During the conversation, I redirected it back to my faith, but I did say to them, you've challenged me by asking me that, because for me, I just feel whole, feel content, I feel at peace in just giving back what was poured into me. They've left me with a really good question about what is it for me as a social carer that I get out of this? What do I get out of being a foster carer? And truth is, nothing. I get nothing out of it. I get peace of mind that the next generation is being thought of, is being looked after. It only takes one person to become a prime minister or a president. If that child ends up being someone like that just because they were loved, then I want to give that opportunity to any child. I've had this conversation with lawyers and things like that, as I come from a law background. The trajectory for children who come from care or hardship beginnings is just downstream. You are more likely to be in front of a judge than to be in front of a CEO as a child that comes from care or hardship or minority ethnic backgrounds and communities and things like that. There is more chance of you ending up in front of a judge attending a court case than there is for you to be in front of a chief executive officer of a business and getting a promotion. When I married those two things up, that gap of inequality, that gap of injustice, it just moves me differently. I believe in equal opportunity for everybody, and that begins with children in their beginnings. And I said it to the girls, that as long as these children leave my house, my care, my safe space with everything they need in life to get going and to get back on the ladder, to climb to where they want to go to, then my job is done and I'm good. I'm good. I don't have any other desire. I don't want to be seen for it. I don't want to be recognized for it. Do I need to make a living out of it? Absolutely. I need to make I need to live to be able to do this for them. I think this is just like that private work you do because it's the right thing to do. That's my rant over. Today I've been really in my deep bag of thoughts about just closing loops. I'm not only going back again and again to find joy for myself, but to also give it to these children, to find joy for them and help them get back on this horse of life. I don't think I would do foster caring again personally, but I personally believe I need to be in some sort of executive position in the decision-making rooms because of my experience, wisdom, and now work history and background. So yeah, that's a bit more about me. You guys are really getting to know me on this place, I tell ya.